Are we ready to meet our visiting chef? Let me hear ya! Okay. Chef Alex Flores is chef de cuisine at Carthay Circle restaurant. His 16-year career at the Disneyland Resort began with the culinary team of Storytellers Cafe and the opening of Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa. Has anyone ever stayed there? Incredible. Make sure you go there. His expertise progressed while sous chef for executive chef Andrew Sutton at the acclaimed Napa Rose, and he was the co-winner of Sous Chef of the Year award. His tempting creations and incredibly imaginative culinary style have contributed to the success, elegance, and prominence of our resort's finest restaurants. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause for Chef Alex Flores!
Hello everybody, how are you guys doing?
Hi Chef, how are you today?
Wonderful, wonderful. How's everybody?
Everyone's good. Now Chef,
Yes.
they tell me you are going to be making for us a tropical style lemongrass broth, wait for it, with a jerked pork and mango pineapple salsa. Is that true?
Yes it is. Hopefully it's true because this is a
Can
rare
you all smell the lemongrass? I can smell it, and let me tell you, it is incredible. How are we doing with that stove there?
Not good.
Well, while we're waiting, how many of you have been to Napa Rose? Yeah? It is an incredible, incredible place, and we are very honored to have you here with us.
What was the question? I'm sorry. I was looking at everybody out here.
I was asking all of your fans who've actually been to Napa Rose.
Yes, so Napa Rose. So that's where I started off my career. Worked about 12 years with Andrew Sutton, and that's where I really honed my skills to be a chef. And then now I'm at Carthay Circle featuring, I brought some food with me to kind of show you guys what we do at Carthay Circle. So we have this crab lettuce cups. So not your traditional crab lettuce cups where you have a bunch of lettuce on the side and you make your own. They're kind of composed for you. And after that's done with a house-made sambal. And then we have our Vietnamese tacos, done with this twice-cooked beef, done with a little bit of ginger and soy sauce, and on top you have pineapple salsa to go with that. So really nice and light and fresh. And then our portobello mushroom tamale that we make in-house and everything. More of a sweet tamale, so you kind of have that sweet and savory going on with poblano chilies, a little bit of pepitas, and after a little bit of queso fresco in there as well.
Now, these are dishes we could get today if we go
These
over
are
to
dishes
Carthay.
you could get today at Carthay, correct.
Well, I know where I'm going tonight.
And some of these dishes are featured in the lounge, and some are featured upstairs and everything. And then those of you guys that have ever dined with us at Carthay, at Napa, we also do chef tastings menus at Carthay as well. Usually when I'm there, kind of helps everybody and everything.
Okay, well tell us a little bit about what you're going to prepare today.
So we're going to take, we're going to make a coconut, lemongrass, habanero, and a soup that we do. We call it tropical soup. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of bacon and render that down and release some of that bacon fat and everything.
Let's hear it for bacon.
Who likes bacon around here?
Who doesn't like bacon?
And then so once we render that down, you want to get that oil kind of released and everything. Not really crisp it up, but just get that aroma inside the pot. And then from there, we're going to add some garlic, just a little bit of garlic, okay?
It smells so good.
One thing people, I feel, make a mistake, or just not knowing, is to take your garlic and cook it until we call California tan, because we're from Southern California, so it should be the color of my skin.
Oh, really?
That's the way your garlic should look. Okay? And after, it's not a culinary term, but it's a Napa Rose and Carthay Circle signature dining term that we use. So if you ask any of our cooks, and after I actually have a couple of my cooks here, I have Kyle and I have Ashley here. So you can say hi, guys.
Kyle and Ashley.
So we're showing support and everything.
So I've basically been undercooking garlic my entire life.
And what it does, garlic, it creates, it gets sweeter. So it kind of roasts off and gets a sweet, nutty flavor, as opposed to the spicy flavor that everyone doesn't like. So that's the reasoning behind it. Now at this point, I'm going to add some lemongrass.
Oh, can you guys smell that? Yet? In a second. It smells so good.
And then we're going to add some ginger as well. So this soup should be really tropical, and kind of you're in the Bahamas and you want to drink out of a coconut or pineapple and kind of just relax. You may have a Mai Tai or something like that, you know.
It's my kind of meal.
So do you guys do cooking at home? Who does cooking at home? Yeah? And what are the favorite things that you guys cook at home? Tacos. What kind of tacos? All kind.
Well, you'll have to come try these tacos. They look good. So what kind of food would you pair with this soup? Or is this a meal in itself?
You know, it's a meal in itself, or if you want, you could kind of have friends and family over, and then just have little cups, what we call demi-tasse cups, and then just have them set aside for them, ready to go. But what's unique about this, you could do, we call it mise en place. Mise en place is your station, how organized and how set up it is. So a lot of this stuff was made yesterday, prepared, so the dicing and the chopping was already done, and just put in these little dishes and everything, as you see up here. And it makes it easier because then I can just come in and instead of taking me a whole day, it takes me only, 10 minutes. And just kind of add everything to the pot, and then that's it. My wife is in the audience as well, along with my daughter right here. And she always laughs at me because I always go in there and she thinks it's going to take me hours to make all this food. And I'm done, with maybe an hour. And then she's like, that's it?
So do you prep the night before?
So what I do is actually I have Sundays and Mondays off. And Mondays I go in there, I make about 3 meals a day. 3 meals for the entire week for them to come in. And then she just heats up everything, and then the family's fed, everyone's eating healthy, everyone's eating light, and because I'm at work, it's kind of hard for me.
That I think is a dream come true for almost all of us in this audience, yes? Because I know for me the hardest part is prep time. If I had someone making everything for me, I'd cook.
So here we're gonna add some onions. And then we're gonna add some habaneros. We have 2 habaneros in there. And this is, what's beautiful about Scotch bonnets. They're just, they're heat, but it's not a real aggressive heat and doesn't linger. It kind of hits you up front, and then it kind of lingers away. You don't really feel that heat. You're not sweating, so that's what I love about them.
So Chef, what inspired you to become a chef?
What inspired me to become a chef? Actually, it started off with my dad. So my dad was, when I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted, and then he wanted me to learn how to cook. So he started off with making scrambled eggs and making bolognese sauce from scratch and all this stuff. And he said his idea was, I don't want you to eat out and eat at Jack in the Box and eat fast food, because then you're not going to live a healthy life. So I don't know what your plans are. And at that time, I didn't know what my plans are. So he showed me how to make small things, and then later on in the years, I kind of figured out I went to culinary school, and I figured this is what I really enjoy. So I feel fortunate. I've been in the industry for 22 years. I started off front of the house and waited on tables for a few years, and then I transitioned over to the back of the house back in about '99. And from there, I never looked back, and it's like I haven't worked a day in my life.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Now, your daughter's in the audience with us.
Yes.
And he was telling me something interesting before he came out here. Tell me what your daughter, one of her favorite things to eat is. Or what is the most adventurous thing she will eat?
I hate to say it, but caviar.
I can't get my daughter to eat anything other than a quesadilla.
You like caviar?
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, so one day I brought home caviar for my wife, and I'm sitting there eating it along with my wife with some champagne, and my daughter goes, "What's that?" And I go, "It's caviar." At first she wasn't really intrigued to try it, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, she's over there dipping in it, and the cream and the toast points, and she's like, next thing she's licking her fingers and everything. So it's really, really cool. So, I try to give her everything that we would eat, so she'll eat everything from salmon to imitation crab, tostadas, to you name it, she's going to try it.
So dinner time is never a battle in your house?
Pardon me?
Dinner time is never a battle in your house?
No, it's not a battle at all. No. It's not a battle. Well, some days it is. She loves noodles and rice. So I go to this Asian market and I walk down the aisle and it's all nothing but noodles. And it's like, she walks down and she's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "Dad, are these all noodles?" And I said, "Yes." And she was in heaven.
Pasta lover.
Oh, she loves it. And we went to go eat sushi, and it was for Valentine's. So we went out, took my wife out for Valentine's, and then we get in there, and all she had was, she knew we were going to go eat sushi, and all she had was miso soup. She walks out and says, "Oh my God, that was the best sushi ever." So now what we're doing is, you can see all the caramelization of the vegetables and everything starting to develop. You guys can't really smell too much. You might be able to smell a little bit.
It smells so good.
what I want to do next is I'm going to deglaze with rice wine vinegar. The beautiful thing about rice wine vinegar, it's sweet already as it is, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the fond on the bottom, it's called. So the fond is all the flavors that got stuck on the bottom of the pan. So, I don't know, is there a camera or something?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can see it?
Yeah.
So you guys saw how everything was stuck? Now look at everything, it's all gone. And that's what you want, that's flavor that you're gonna miss and everything. So we're gonna take that down by half, and at this point we're gonna add the mango, and then the pineapple as well.
You're making me want to fly to the Bahamas.
Yes. And the beautiful thing about working at Carthay Circle is, so at Napa Rose, it was really driven towards the wine country cuisine. So it was, a lot of goat cheese and sun-dried tomatoes, grape leaves and all that stuff. Now at Carthay Circle, it's pretty fun because it's really representing LA. So I'm born and raised in Southern California, so it's really broadened my horizon where, I could do Indian cuisine, I could do Moroccan, Mediterranean, Asian. So if you come to Carthay, it might seem like I'm very confused, but I'm not. It's actually intended that way. So we have a ceviche in the menu. We have, this is very, very, very near and dear to my heart. Every holiday was a tamale. It was there for the holidays and everything. And then, you might go and you see the tacos right here and everything. So it's really fun.
How often do you change the menu at Carthay?
The menu changes seasonally.
Okay.
We do really hard changes in summer and in winter. And throughout the year, we're making adjustments. So for instance, there's a dish right now, we have apples and chestnuts on there. Well, they're kind of going away. So now we're going to change that dish. We're going to leave the same component, the protein, which is a duck home feed, and we're going to change the components on it. So we're going to springify it. So I don't know if that's a word, but
It is now.
it is now, yes. So once this comes down by half, we're going to add some tomatoes that have been lightly roasted off, which are yellow tomatoes.
Now, could you use a different tomato in that, or?
You can use a red tomato. I just like the yellow because it goes along with the mango color and the pineapple as well, so it kind of looks yellow and everything. But you could definitely use Roma tomatoes if you can't find these. And then we're going to add coconut milk, okay? And coconut milk will go in there. And then from there, it'll be chicken stock. And chicken stock will be just a cover. And you could either use the one that's already prepared for you, or if you want, you could prepare it yourself. And then you could also make a big batch of chicken stock and then freeze it into ice cubes. And then so you pull out what you need and everything. It's just pretty fun. And then I have something called a sachet. And this is just a mixture of cilantro and mint. I'm just going to pop that in there and tie it up to the side. And that's going to give me the aromatics of cilantro and mint.
Oh, wow.
And then one thing to do is want to season your food, okay? So I just add just a little bit of salt because it's going to it should simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour. And the reason why is because right now everything is being combined. So you have these hollow spots. So right now it should just taste just like watered down chicken stock. And as it cooks and develops and everything simmers, everything starts to come together. And then all of a sudden you start getting nuances of garlic, the lemongrass starts to come out, the habanero, and it just doesn't taste like water now. It is. And then but you gotta be careful with the salt because salt, as it cooks and reduces, the sodium level actually gets higher and everything. So just be careful on that. And then we're gonna do like how they do in Food Network, where they pull it out and say, voila. Okay. So this is a product that we had already made for us. And then we'll pull the sachet out.
Now are we smelling it out there? I need the wind to go this way for you all. Cool bird.
So we're going to take a blender. We can use a hand blender like this, it's fine. And we're just going to blend the soup until it's smooth.
Oh. How many of you have a blender like that at home? Really? Maybe this is why I don't cook.
Ever since the Food Network started, back when I was coming up, it was Yan Can Cook. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He was on PBS. That was one of my guys I used to watch. Wonder Powder and everything. And then it was Emeril Lagasse. Those are the two shows that my dad was always watching it. And I was like, why are you watching this? And I sat down and said, oh, it's pretty cool. and everything. So ever since,
you liked that food before your dad said, come here in the kitchen and let me
you know
teach
what, I
you.
didn't realize it until after, but yes,
Yeah.
I really liked it. And you know what, like I said, it's I feel blessed, you know, to be able to do what I do and actually enjoy it.
Yeah,
That's the cool part. Like,
amazing.
you know, I work a lot of hours. You can ask my wife. You know, but it's, you know, without her support, I wouldn't be able to do it either. You know, and it's great because, you know, do I enjoy coming to work? I actually do.
That's awesome.
And after, but with my little daughter here, it makes it a little bit hard too, and everything, to kind of come to work, and you're just, you know, she asks you, where are you going? I said, I'm going to work. So can you just stay home? Sure, I would love to. But you can't buy no toys when you go to Disneyland. And then she's like, okay, go to work.
They're smart at that age.
So what we're going to do is we're going to strain this. And if you don't have a strainer like this, any kind of strainer, you could get, you could do a trick you could do is use cheesecloth, very inexpensive, and just kind of let that and let it sit and everything. And I'm just getting and just passing it through, kind of pushing it and allowing everything to go down. And what this does, it makes it a nice, clear broth, and it makes it refined. And so for, you know, restaurants, we want to show you, the reason why we work so hard is we want to show you our skill. We want to show you what we were able to do, what our learnings are, and everything. And we don't want to show you a flaw. So once we have this right here, I'm heating this up, I think I am. So we'll take that. And then so for garnish, I have a little bit of jerk pork. So every once in a while I like to make dishes where I have, I call it, everyone calls it surf and turf. I have a term called ocean meets land. Okay, so we're taking the pork product and we're gonna add some shrimp to it. And the shrimp we're using is called laughing bird shrimp. What's beautiful about these shrimp is they're nice and tender and they don't have that briny flavor. And they're called that, they get their name because they're farm raised out of Belize. And the area they're coming from, they have a bunch of seagulls, they kind of migrate there. So it sounds like the shrimp are laughing. So that's where they get their name, laughing bird shrimp. I don't know how true that story is though. That's the story they told me.
We'll go with it.
We'll go with it, yes. And then, spoons. So like I was saying earlier is, you really want to taste your food to know where you're at. Because if you get asked by cooks, almost verbatimly every meeting, after the meeting's done, I always say, go up there, have fun, taste your food. Okay? Because we want to, if it tastes good, you guys are going to enjoy it. And we actually push the limit where the salt level is right there, so you don't have to put any salt. You know, when I first dated my wife, she would sit there and put salt right away. I said, no, what are you doing? And she was accustomed to doing that. And then all of a sudden she's eating it, she's like, it's a little salty. I said, I know. That's spicy.
Good for the sinuses.
So we're going to add a little lime juice to this. Wow.
Now, is that to cut the spice, or is that just?
That's the
Okay.
Yes. This just got me off guard. That's all.
Now, do you like spicy food?
No, actually, yeah, yes and no. You guys ever see the movie Along Came Polly? So I got a funny story. So my wife and I, our second date, you know, we're dating and everything, and then we go to this Chinese restaurant to eat Chinese food. And then the little chili de arbos are inside our food. And next thing you know, so I order the Kung Pao chicken, and I'm sitting there eating that, and next thing you know, I'm just sweating. It's sweating. And I'm like kind of embarrassed, but I'm just laughing. And she's looking at me, are you okay? And then after, I had so much water that night. It was funny. So then what we're going to do is we're going to add some garnish to the bowl. Which we have a mixture of shimeji mushrooms, some edamame, some diced mango, and diced pineapple. Okay? And then we're going to take the shrimp mixture and the pork. We're going to add that on there too. And we're going to ladle our soup inside of here.
Wow.
And then one thing we kind of do too is kind of want to show you everything. So sometimes it looks like I'm cheating you and charging a lot of money for this meal, but I'm showing you my craft and the skill too. And then after on top of that, we're going to go ahead and kind of garnish it with fresh mint and fresh cilantro. Okay?
That looks amazing.
And this is the soup. So doesn't it look like fall or something like spring, I'm sorry? Okay?
amazing. Would you like to take some questions from the audience? Anybody have any questions out there? Awesome. Now, I have one really quick though. Do you have a favorite food from your childhood that maybe has inspired your cooking as an adult?
Oh, man, yeah. You know what inspires me? Everything inspires me. Sometimes it could be the weather, sometimes it could be a magazine article, sometimes it could be me watching TV, a sports, or either a documentary. I get inspiration from many things. You know, it could be the sun, the moon, the clouds. You know, it's just how you wake up and everything.
That's awesome. It's an art. Who has a question? Here you go. Hi. Go ahead, I'll tell them.
Since you're tasting your soup after you toast it, what if you put too much salt in it?
You put too much salt in it. Sometimes you have to start over. Sometimes you have to. There's no way going back. And after if you put too much salt, what happens is you could add more stock to it. But what happens, you'll start diluting your flavors. So now everything won't taste as robust. You'll taste the mango, you'll taste the pineapple, but you might not taste the ginger or the lemongrass because now you're stretching out your product and everything. And a lot of people, what they do is, in order, like for me, I think making a great soup is a real telling how a chef is. If you can make a great soup, then that means you're a pretty good chef, I think. Because a lot of people, they don't add enough components in there. Like if you could look at this, it's pretty full. You could barely move it around. Well, that means it's gonna be packed with all kinds of flavor. And so most people, they'll just put salt and salt. Well, I could put a bunch of salt in chicken stock and it'll taste okay, but there's no background behind it. And then, so sometimes you do have to maybe start over and everything. My mom told me one time a potato, maybe put a potato in there, that might help it, but I just try not to. You season it, so I do taste it throughout the cooking as well. So I'll go in there and taste it, and then when I'm blending it up, I just add just a little bit, just to kind of bring out those nuances. That's all.
Any other questions? Anyone over here? Kathy. Good.
Is this recipe online, or how can we get this recipe?
Barney, you have my email. You can email me.
So you're the one to ask him questions about. Okay.
No, recipes. Disney's real funny. They don't. They have to go through trials before they give it out to that public and everything. But I guess that's it.
Is there a cookbook from like Carthay Circle with?
No, there's not a cookbook of Carthay Circle.
Not yet?
Is it? No, not yet.
Well, maybe we should do that.
Maybe.
Remember, I told you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes. Hi.
Do you have a favorite show on the Food Channel?
Oh, good question.
Favorite show on the Food Channel? You know what? I do watch Chopped every once in a while. You know, I'm really intrigued by Top Chef. That's one of my favorites. But other than that, it's either sports. ESPN seems to always be around everywhere I go. I'm following the Lakers, following the Rams now. They're back over here. So I'm very excited about. And that's about it.
We've got someone else excited. Yeah, right here.
Which famous chef inspires you the most?
Which famous chef? I just like chefs that are hard workers. So for me, the chefs that I see is like Tom Colicchio, John George, Eric Repair. Those are kind of the chefs that I admire because they're never content. You know, we're satisfied, but we're never content. We're always looking to try to improve. For me, I'm always trying to be the best leader I could be. Trying to mentor my culinary, my sous chefs and my cooks, and trying to give them my knowledge that I have for my years of experience. Because my thing is, I have no secrets. I want them to take my job. Most chefs, we're so competitive, and we're worried about, oh my God, he's going to take my job. Well, I want somebody to take my job. I need somebody to take my job. You know, and that way I can move up hopefully one day and go higher and everything. But so I have no secrets.
It makes you a great leader.
I
And a
hope
great
so.
chef.
I hope so.
Any other questions? Oh, over here. What are your components in the homemade sambal?
The components for a homemade sambal: ginger, lemongrass, fish sauce, garlic, red Thai chilies. Oh my God. I don't off the top of my head. That's kind of some of the ingredients. And we kind of let it ferment for about a week, and then we blend it up and let it sit for another week.
And do you just know as you're tasting, like, oh, I want to add a little of that and throw in a little of this?
Yes. So sometimes, you know, you taste the food, so as chefs, you get inspiration from everything. And a lot of times, like, if I don't want to make something traditional, I'll go online and I'll look at recipes. And I'll grab 3 recipes from kind of maybe Alton Brown, maybe somebody else that I'm kind of familiar with. And then I'll look at all 3 of them. And since I know the base of cooking, I look and see what works. So I pick all 3 and say, okay, I like what he does here, but I doesn't like this. I like this, but don't like this. And then I kind of make it my own recipe and everything. So it's pretty fun.
Awesome. Anyone else? Yeah.
What is your favorite dish or even food?
My favorite dish is the dish that I haven't created. Because I don't like, I used to take pride in making soups and apéros, where I would never make the same soup twice. So I like change. So I like working where I'm at now because I'm able to change the menu, you know, as much as I like, kind of thing. So the dish I haven't created, like, for instance, you come in, you ask for this soup, I'll never make it again. Oops. The tamale, once the tamale's gone, it'll be gone forever. You know, we might do a different variation of it, but it'll be gone forever. You know, the lettuce wraps, once they're done, they've seen this time, that's it. We'll never have it come back again.
That makes my taste buds so sad.
No, you see, you know, well, that's the thing. So working with Andrew for so long, he said, well, I know it's your favorite thing. Well, find a new favorite. So.
Is there ever food though you're just craving? Like, you know, we all have those days where we're like, oh, I just want to eat this.
Moods, I think. It's our mood sets it. So
Yeah.
sometimes my wife, what do you feel like? And we'll go get a panini, we'll go get sushi. It's just depending on what our moods are and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah.
I tend to eat chicken. Chicken is my favorite thing of cooking. What chicken dishes do you recommend that, you know, my boys are cooking?
You can almost do a marinade. You can do a marinade like this, but make it more of a marinade. You know, instead of adding so much sauce to it, you can also cook everything and put it in a blender like how right here, and just blend it, and you can do that as well. And that'll be a great marinade for something too. You don't have to be the soup, but you just don't add all the liquid.
I know we have some of your chefs here today, so I have a question for you.
Yes.
Maybe for them. How do you keep your cool in the kitchen when events start to heat up? I'm just gonna casually stroll over here.
Do your job.
Is that true?
The shop is almost always kept his school online, especially because we're a show kitchen. I think he's very good at keeping school. Hopefully we're going to cook so he doesn't lose school too much. But he's usually pretty even tempered at work. He doesn't really have velocity. I hope that's because we're a good kitchen.
It is.
On top of that too. So
He's a fair chef. Awesome. I mean, I've known you for 10 minutes now, and I can. You are totally cool and calm. Who you are right now is exactly who you were off stage.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Anyone else?
What do you do nowadays that people are more concerned about weight loss to substitute like for organic stuff? You're just cooking with that.
Well, like at Carthay Circle, so my boss, Andrew Sutton, he challenged me to not use any dark sauces. Okay, stay away from heavy cream and make food lighter. So if you come to Carthay, I don't have dark sauces on my plates. I might go with maybe a Sungo tomato vinaigrette. So I use a lot of vinaigrettes, a lot of coulis, a lot of, what would you say, and mostly vinaigrettes and stuff like that. So it makes it lighter. So it's not, you know, when you walk away, like we have this soba noodle bowl. It's a salad, and it's tossed with it's a tangerine ginger vinaigrette with soba noodles, some grilled chicken, edamame, fresh mint, cilantro. But you walk away eating this, and you feel fine, but you don't feel like you can't go and walk the park. So that's the beautiful thing about Carthay. It's just we're trying to give you some light dishes where you don't feel like just like if you ate like a burger. Like people laugh at me and my wife because we'll share an In-N-Out burger. And you know, when I was 20 years old, man, I could eat like 10 of them, no problem. As I get older, the effects are different on me now. You know, wake up the next day, I'm groggy, I'm lazy, I don't want to do anything. So I'm a big believer on eat light and just, you know, kind of live that lifestyle. You know, and it's hard because, you know, we're trying to eat healthier and then have an active physical activity life too. You know, and it's hard.
You never just binge on a Domino's pizza.
Pizza is our biz, yeah. We do it once in a while.
Okay, good. I feel better. Anyway, any other questions?
create a new dish, do you take all of that into consideration?
No. So for instance, I don't. I don't. So what happens, you know what, we actually cook that way anyways. So, you know, like this soup, back in the 80s and maybe late 70s, early 80s, this would probably be made with the root. So you have that as a thickener. Well, with all the vegetables that you see in here, that's a natural thickener. So it's going to thicken up the soup as well. So, you know, for us, we have so many components around us that we do. So we're able to manipulate our food. So for instance, if you come to Carthay and you say, I have a gluten intolerance, well, most of our product is already gluten-free. So we'll tell you, what protein do you enjoy? Or you say, I want the pork chop. Okay, no problem. We'll take those measurements that we need to, cook it in a brand new pan, and keep it isolated as much as we can. You know, if I have a nightshade allergy, which is eggplant, tomato, potatoes, all this stuff. So if you have that allergy, we just kind of manipulate the dish and create a dish for you, your liking and everything. So we have the skill level where we're able to be creative because of our experience, and then as a chef, you kind of show that to your culinary team and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, give them direction and everything. So I don't really cook that way, but most of our food's already driven that way anyways. You know, but and especially nowadays, everyone with so many with allergies and everything, you know, so it makes it a little tough at times, but we got to used to it.
Well, I think we are all just so thrilled that you spent some time with us. Everyone, let's hear it for Chef Alex Flores. And thank you all for joining us today. Remember, we go through May 1st, so make sure you come back. And now, enjoy the rest of your day at Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival. One more time for Chef Flores.